Imagine waking up every morning to an alarm that decides when your life begins. You rush through breakfast, fight through traffic, work for hours, return home exhausted, then repeat the same routine. Tomorrow, month after month, year after year. One day, you look around and realize your life has been spent chasing money. Yet somehow, money never stopped chasing you. This is the quiet reality. For millions of people, they earn, they spend, they survive, but they never become financially free. Most people believe the problem is that they don't make enough money. They dream of a higher salary, a better job, a promotion, a lucky opportunity. They believe that one day, more income will solve everything. But history tells a very different story. There have been athletes who earned millions and lost it all, entertainers who built fortunes only to end in debt, lottery winners who became poorer than they were before. If money alone created freedom, none of this would happen, which raises an uncomfortable question. What if financial freedom has far less to do with income than we've been taught? Imagine two people. One earns $50,000 a year. The other earns $500,000. The first lives below their means, invests patiently, thinks long-term, values freedom more than appearances. The second spends everything, chases status, upgrades every lifestyle with every paycheck. Years pass. Who becomes free first? The answer has almost nothing to do with income, because wealth is not measured by what enters your bank account. It is measured by what remains after your desires have made their demands. This is the illusion that traps millions. They mistake looking wealthy for becoming wealthy. They buy bigger houses, more expensive cars, designer brands, newer gadgets, hoping each purchase will make them feel more successful. But every upgrade quietly increases the price of their freedom. The ancient Stoics understood something that modern society often forgets. Every unnecessary desire creates a new form of dependence. The more you believe you need to feel successful, the less free you become. Real wealth is not the ability to buy everything. It is the ability to need very little. Financial freedom does not begin in your wallet. It begins in your thinking. Because before anyone becomes wealthy, they must first escape the mindset that keeps them poor. And that mindset is far more dangerous than a lack of money. It is invisible. It feels normal. It is quietly accepted by millions of people every single day. So the real question is not, why do some people become rich? The real question is, why do so many people remain trapped even after earning more than they once dreamed? To answer that, we must first understand the invisible prison that keeps most people working their entire lives without ever becoming truly free. Imagine a bird born inside a cage. It learns to fly only within the limits of iron bars. After years, the cage no longer feels like a prison. It feels like the world. Many people live their financial lives the same way. They never question the system they have inherited. Study, find a job, earn a paycheck, spend most of it, wait for the next paycheck, repeat for 40 years. Society calls this a normal life. But Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself that people become accustomed even to chains. The most dangerous prison is the one you no longer notice. Most people believe they work for money. In reality, they work to maintain a lifestyle they can no longer afford to lose. Every new expense becomes another obligation. Every monthly payment quietly claims a piece of tomorrow's freedom. Imagine climbing a ladder. Every step upward brings a higher income, but with every step, someone places another weight on your shoulders. A larger house, a more expensive car, higher expectations, more debt, more pressure, more dependence. You are climbing, yet somehow you feel heavier. This is known as lifestyle inflation. As income grows, spending grows with it. the finish line, keeps moving farther away, which means no matter how much you earn, freedom always feels like the next promotion, the next raise, the next opportunity, but the next never arrives because the problem was never a lack of income. It was a lack of direction. Wealth without purpose quickly disappears. Money without discipline never creates freedom. Think about a bucket filled with tiny holes. You can pour more water into it all day long, but it will never remain full. Not because there isn't enough water, but because it keeps leaking away. Many financial lives look exactly the same. Higher salaries, bigger bonuses, greater opportunities, yet nothing remains because every dollar has already been assigned to another desire. The wealthy often ask a very different question. They don't ask, "What can I buy?" They ask, "What can this money become?" Most people spend money to impress strangers. Wealthy thinkers invest money to create freedom. They understand that every dollar has two possible futures. It can purchase a moment of pleasure, or it can purchase years of opportunity. Every financial decision is also a decision about time, because money can always be earned again. Time cannot. This is why financial freedom is not simply about having more money. It is about owning more of your life, more of your mornings, more of your choices, more of your future. The greatest luxury is not driving the most expensive car. It is waking up knowing that your time belongs to you. But reaching that freedom requires something most people never develop: a way of thinking that values tomorrow more than today's comfort. And that single difference is where the journey toward real wealth truly begins. If you asked most people what they would do with an extra $1,000, the answers would sound familiar: a new phone, a vacation, better clothes, a larger television, a nicer car. None of these things are wrong, but they reveal a powerful truth. Most people see money as something to spend. The wealthy often see money as something to multiply. That difference changes everything. Imagine planting a single seed. You could eat it today and satisfy a moment of hunger, or you could plant it and allow it to become a tree that produces thousands of seeds for years to come. Money works in much the same way. Every dollar presents a choice: consume it or allow it to grow. Most people focus on income. Wealthy people focus on assets. Income pays today's bills. Assets build tomorrow's freedom. This is why two people can earn the same salary, yet live completely different futures. One spends nearly everything they earn. The other quietly acquires assets that continue working even while they sleep. The first trades time for money. The second uses money to buy back time. That is one of the greatest shifts in financial thinking. Wealth is not measured by how much you earn. It is measured by how many days your money can work without you. Think about a river. Most people carry buckets to collect water. Every day, they must return to fill them again. But a few people spend years building channels. Once those channels exist, the water continues to flow. The work happens once. The rewards continue. Wealth is built the same way. The wealthy build systems. Average thinkers depend only on effort. Effort is important, but effort alone has limits. There are only 24 hours in a day. No matter how hard you work, time remains limited, which is why financial freedom is created not when you work more hours, but when your money begins working alongside you. There is another habit that quietly separates the wealthy from everyone else. They delay gratification. They understand that saying, "Not today," often creates a far better tomorrow. While others chase appearances, they build ownership. While others seek admiration, they seek independence. While others spend to look successful, they invest to become successful. The remarkable truth is that real wealth often looks surprisingly ordinary. It is found in patient decisions, quiet discipline, consistent investing, thoughtful planning, and the willingness to think years ahead while everyone else is thinking about the weekend. This is why financial freedom is never an accident. It is the result of thousands of intentional decisions made long before anyone notices the outcome. But knowing how wealthy people think is only half of the journey. The real challenge is applying those principles in a world designed to make you forget them. Every generation is offered the same bargain. Enjoy everything today, worry about tomorrow later. It sounds harmless, even reasonable, but hidden inside that promise is one of the greatest enemies of financial freedom. Imagine standing at the edge of a beautiful forest. In your hand is an axe. Every day, you cut down one tree. The wood keeps you warm. It feels like a smart decision, but you never plant another. Years pass. One winter, you look around and realize the forest has disappeared. This is how many people treat their future. Every unnecessary purchase feels small. Every impulse feels justified. Every excuse feels reasonable. But over time, small decisions become lifelong consequences. Financial freedom is rarely destroyed by one terrible choice. It disappears through hundreds of comfortable ones. Modern society encourages this cycle. Buy now, pay later, upgrade again. Never feel satisfied. Every advertisement tells you that happiness is only one purchase away. But happiness, built on consumption, never lasts, because desire always returns, stronger than before. The Stoics understood that desire expands faster than possession. The more you feed it, the more it demands, which means a person who cannot control their desires can never truly control their money. Imagine 2 gardens. One gardener waters only the flowers that everyone can see. The other quietly strengthens the roots. At first, the difference is invisible, but when the storm arrives, only one garden remains standing. Wealth works the same way. Most people invest in appearances. Financially free people invest in foundations, skills, knowledge, discipline, productive assets, long-term thinking. These things rarely impress other people, but they quietly build a life that no longer depends on constant income. There is another truth that few people ever consider. Every dollar you spend is not only a financial decision, it is a vote for the future you are creating. Every purchase says something. It says, I value this more than my future freedom, or I value my future more than this moment. Those votes may seem insignificant, but over years, they decide the direction of your entire life. Wealth is not built in dramatic moments. It is built in ordinary ones, at the grocery store, while scrolling online, when temptation appears, when no one is watching, because character is revealed in private decisions, and financial freedom is simply character expressed through money. The people who eventually become free are not always the smartest or the luckiest. They are often the most consistent. They understand that today's comfort should never be purchased at the cost of tomorrow's freedom, and perhaps that is the greatest investment anyone can make, not in stocks, not in real estate, but in becoming the kind of person who can delay a temporary pleasure for a permanent reward. Because once you master your choices, you begin to master your future, and that future starts taking shape long before your bank account ever reveals it. Close your eyes and imagine 2 lives. The first is filled with expensive possessions, a beautiful house, luxury cars, designer clothes, endless upgrades. From the outside, it looks like success, but every month, new bills arrive, new obligations appear, new worries follow close behind. Every decision is controlled by the next paycheck. Now imagine a different life, a simpler home, fewer possessions, less attention from the world. But every morning, you wake up knowing your time belongs to you. You choose how to spend your day. You choose what work deserves your energy. You choose what truly matters. Which of these people is actually wealthy? Society often mistakes luxury for freedom, but they are not the same thing. Luxury can be purchased. Freedom must be built. The ancient Stoics never measured a person's life by what they owned. They measured it by what they could lose without losing themselves. That is why financial freedom is not merely about having enough money to stop working. It is about reaching a point where money no longer controls your decisions. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One road is crowded. Everyone is running, chasing promotions, chasing approval, chasing possessions, yet no one seems to arrive. The other road is quieter. Fewer people choose it. It demands patience, discipline, long-term thinking. The rewards come slowly. But unlike the first road, it leads somewhere. Financial freedom is not a destination reached overnight. It is the result of thousands of invisible decisions. Every time you choose to invest instead of impress, to learn instead of consume, to build instead of borrow, to think in decades instead of days, you move one step closer to freedom. Most people spend years trying to earn more money. Few spend time becoming the kind of person who knows what to do with it. Yet that is where every fortune truly begins. Wealth is a reflection of habits. Habits are a reflection of character, and character is shaped by the choices you make every single day. Perhaps that is why financial freedom has always been an inside job before it becomes an outside result. The moment you stop asking, how can I look wealthy, and start asking, how can I become free, your future begins to change, because the people who eventually escape the cycle are not the ones who earn the biggest paychecks. They are the ones who refuse to become servants of their own desires. They understand that every dollar is more than currency. It is a choice between appearance and independence, between comfort and opportunity, between today and tomorrow. And in the end, financial freedom is not reserved for the lucky. It belongs to those who have the courage to think differently, live intentionally, and remain patient long after everyone else has given up. But there is one final truth, a truth more valuable than every investment, every strategy, and every paycheck, because the greatest wealth has never been about money. It has always been about the freedom to live according to your own values. And that is where our journey ends. Throughout history, empires have risen, empires have fallen, fortunes have been built, fortunes have disappeared, entire generations have spent their lives chasing wealth, yet only a few ever discovered what wealth was truly meant to provide. It was never about luxury. It was never about status. It was never about proving your success to strangers. The purpose of wealth has always been freedom, the freedom to choose instead of being forced, the freedom to create instead of merely surviving, the freedom to spend your time on what matters most, because time is the only currency that never returns. Every dollar you save wisely, every skill you patiently build, every temptation you choose to resist, every investment you make in your future. They are not simply financial decisions. They are decisions about the life you will someday live. Most people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect income, the perfect opportunity. But financial freedom is never created by perfect conditions. It is created by consistent decisions, quiet decisions, ordinary decisions, repeated year after year. That is why some people build lasting wealth without extraordinary talent, while others earn fortunes, yet remain financial prisoners. The difference is rarely intelligence. It is perspective. One person sees money as something to spend. Another sees money as something that can purchase freedom. And once your perspective changes, your future begins to change with it. You stop chasing appearances. You begin building independence. You stop competing with other people. You begin competing with the person you were yesterday. You stop asking, how much do I earn? And begin asking, how much freedom am I creating? Because in the end, financial freedom is not a number. It is a way of thinking, a way of living, a way of choosing long-term purpose over short-term pleasure. History remembers those who built more than wealth. It remembers those who built lives of intention, lives guided by discipline, wisdom, patience, and responsibility. Those qualities cannot be stolen. Markets may fall, economies may change, jobs may disappear, but a disciplined mind always finds another path forward. So as you leave today, remember this: financial freedom does not begin the day you become rich. It begins the day you decide that your future is worth more than today's comfort, because every great fortune was first built in the mind before it was ever built in the bank. Comfort whispers, duty calls, character decides.